Good morning, punters. PB here from Racecourse Capital on a Saturday morning version of Beers and Bets. Good morning, Ty. How are you?
I'm great, mate. How are you?
Fucking fantastic, mate. It's fucking big day of races today. Where are we looking? We're looking at Rosehill, Ascot, Eagle Farm, and Flemington.
Flemington, HQ.
Fabulous, but mate, before we do that, we've got to clench the thirst. And what are we on this morning? What are we on?
Back on the better beers. Non-alcoholic. Non-alcoholic.
God.
Makes us feel a little bit less guilty of
Just a little bit less guilty of this beautiful Better Beer Zero. And what does it say on the top? Morning for it. And mate, isn't it a top morning? So cheers, buddy. Having some brekkie beers without feeling bad.
It's coming down very nicely.
Certainly beats the brekkie bombs, but anyway. So, mate, we've had a bit of a big week. Lots of racing that's been happening since we last spoke to you guys out there. We'll quickly run through some results from last week. So last Saturday, go back to as far as
Friday.
Friday. How did we go Friday?
Let me I can get that up.
I've done it again. I put him on the spot, eh?
So
like live recording.
It was a pretty tough Friday, actually.
Yeah.
So we got a couple at Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
We had 3 at Pakenham.
Yep.
And 1 at the Sunny Coast.
Yes.
So Friday nights can be a bit fucking up and down like that.
It can be. If you want to test your placing consistency out, we certainly had that. Like, pretty sure if we checked the cards, we were seconds and thirds all day. So.
It's just heartbreak, you know. If you're not winning, you're second.
What does Ricky Bobby say? If you're not first, you're last.
That's it. That's it.
If you're
That's
not
how
first,
it
you're
feels.
last.
That's how it feels.
All right, so then we shook it off. We had a reset overnight, and then we came back on the Saturday, and Saturday was pretty good. Well, very tough day at Randwick. A lot of horses had plenty of good chances there, so we managed to find one and a plethora of placings.
Yep.
We moved to the West. We got 4 out of 9 out there. Eagle Farm we had 5 out of 9, and Flemington we had 4. How do you think the track at Flemington ran?
I think it's playing relatively even. Like, it is a track that, and this is like all tracks, depending upon where the rail is or where it's been in the previous weeks or the last time it was there, whether the ground's fresh or run on or whatever it is.
Yep.
Sometimes Flemington can still play on pace bias. Like, everything can have its moments.
Yep.
But I think it was relatively even at Flemington, and I'm hoping it's going to be the same today. I'm hoping they can sort of win from anywhere. That would be nice, and Flemington probably is. You probably have to say it is probably the fairest of the tracks.
Oh, absolutely.
I would think, being a big spacious track.
Well, that's it. Interestingly, again, you look at whether you want to analyse too much, but some horses prefer the tighter tracks where others need the space. They need to come off the corner and have paddocks to run if they want.
Like a big horse is not going to like a valley where you have to be sort of turning quite sharply at the bend. Like, they're not going to like that. So it's sort of, it's open.
But you look at tracks in Victoria like Flemington, like Caulfield, where you peel off that corner and it's just a nice even sweeper, like as if you're going onto the freeway.
Exactly.
So bloody good.
Don't lose any momentum.
No. Interestingly enough, we seem to be having a fairly good strike rate with the free tips going up on a Sunday.
We do.
All right, we had 4 out of 7 at the Sunny Coast on Sunday. Cha-ching. Ty, you stepped up and joined the party with 5 out of 8 at the Valley.
The Valley on a Sunday?
I know.
It was shocking, but it was nice.
You and the Valley, I mean, it's just going great. 5 out of 8, it was like boom.
What else do we have?
We had 3 out of 5 at Esperance.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I just put 5 up there, 5 that I like, so 3 wins, 2 thirds. Happy with that. And we were thereabouts, so yeah,
free
pretty good.
Tips, people. Free tips.
I mean, you know.
You would have had a cracking Sunday. How many winners total there? What's the maths on that?
Let me add the maths up. I'm not the human.
12?
Yes.
12 winners?
It is,
like
mate. God, look at you go. Human calculator, this guy.
Jeez.
Alrighty. So they were the results we sort of had during the week. Wednesday, or during the week, you threw up some more free tips as well with Bendigo and Pakenham midweek.
They went great too. That was a Thursday. Pakenham, what did it go? 5 out of 8.
Did do 5 out of 8 at Pakenham, yeah.
And Bendigo went well as well. Should have been 5 out of 8.
There you go.
Possibly even 6. The one that fucking missed. Oh god, it was a hard watch. But we did pretty well. I think the best each way got up that day as well, which was tipped at $7. Got in easily.
Gotta love that, don't you?
And Pakenham, I think, might have had 1 or 2 value plays get up. I know one was in the last. It was tipped at $8 or something like that. So there's a bit of value around, which is nice.
Exactly. How'd you go last night?
Last night, 5 out of 8 Pakenham. So we're having them backed up again. I think it's because Cranbourne's, there's some construction or something going on at Cranbourne.
There's a few going on in down in Victoria. Caulfield's out of action at the moment as well.
Yeah.
Hence why we're seeing a lot at Sandown. We don't normally see that many midweek and Saturdays,
I can't wait till we go away.
Bring back Caulfield, he says. And
probably a good segue onto...
Absolutely, and we had five out of big card at Ipswich on a Friday for 10 races. So we had 50%. We had 5 out of 10.
Did they miss races some point or something?
Possibly.
I think it was it a few weeks ago or a couple of weeks ago they got rained out or something. Something happened. Maybe that's why they've just stacked on.
Well, Wednesday's meet at Ascot. Was it Ascot? No, at Pinjarra was cancelled due to lightning. So we lost seven races, 7, 8, 9. I think are coming into today's card at Ascot.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, enough about the past. Let's look towards the future. We've got a big Super Saturday ahead of us today. Where are we going to kick off?
The farm.
All right, let's go to the farm.
The farm.
I think you just like hearing me talk, mate.
I do.
All right. I'm pretty sure my wife doesn't. Boss man, don't bite my toe. Alrighty, so we're going to have an early look at one in race number 2, the Red Kite. Now, we were on this last time, and it was very good last time. The form was really good. We're getting a jockey swap, so Thompson comes off, Angela Jones goes on.
What race did you say?
Race number 2, race 2. But we'll get a 2 kilo claim in that race as well. The favourite is going to be very hard to beat. Look, having said that, Red Kite's sitting at 260 right now this morning.
Yep.
But the one that Sam Collett's riding at $2 at the moment, Lovely Esteem, is going to be the one to beat. But I honestly think, based on how the Red Kite ran last time, it's going to push it all the way to the finish line.
1.3 lengths last time.
Excuse me, it was dominant, very dominant. So I think we'll be pretty good there today with the Red Kite in race number 2 to kick us off. Then we're going to have a bit of a squeaky look at number 5, race number 5. Race number 5, and I'm gone with one that I've been on and off, but I'm jumping back on today, Boom Nova.
Nice.
Yeah, Boom Nova. It's just sort of hovering around a 340, 350 mark at the moment.
Yep.
Hunters in the old dial gauge. I have to educate Ty. I'm going to put that up about the different totes, but the turning of the dial has just been going in and out.
I saw a little photo.
Anyway, Sam Collett, she picked up a couple of good rides last week and did them very nicely. So her and Munt seem to work really well together from a jockey stable perspective. I think the horse is going to be really well prepped. It's just come back and work. It does love a good second up run. Uses the first run to get the cobwebs out, and that was pretty good in the 4th position that it finished last start.
Gate 1 leader.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your feeling towards any sort of bias at the farm today? Do you think because it can play on speed sometimes?
It can, but the way that they've redesigned that track, it's becoming more and more fairer and more true. And I think a lot of the times you get a nice even playing field now at the farm. So fingers crossed it'll be right. I'm a little worried about a couple of ones in there, Taversan and Proper Rogue as well. Legal Esprit, Osamu. We've all been on them. We've backed him at different races. So Ridiculous. Like, this is a cracking race.
That's fucking really good.
It is a cracking race. But I'm gonna put my chips on Boom Nova in race number 5.
Sweet.
And then race number 7, I ummed and ahed about him last start. I ummed and ahed and said, no, I picked 2 others. And he fucked me. So Tappy's lad, we're back on.
Tappy!
Very good win last start. He just hunted them down on the outside and got it done. How far did he win by?
He won by nearly a length.
Yeah, so I could see him coming from the 250. And I'm like, don't tell me. And sure enough, he told me. He said, fuck you, Paul. If you're not going to back me, I'm going to win. So We're going to get back on there today. It's a lovely little $4.60. Mark Duplessis is on the back, and I think it'll be pretty good.
Perfecto.
So they're the ones at the farm. Full card will be up in a couple of hours. Gonna have to get my skates on. Full card will be up in a couple of hours, mate. But we'll be ready to go. Where do we go next?
Let's go have a look at Tom's selection.
Rose Hill, beautiful day at Rose Hill today. What are they? A couple of group runs? Or?
Yeah, they are. Are they Coolmore? It's a big race. Fucking hell, that looks competitive.
What a stacked lineup. Stacked.
That's the Coolmore in race 8, so he's gone for race 9.
Oh yeah.
I'll better read out his.
I think you better, because there's a lot of good chances. I mean, look at those horses that are in there. So he hasn't picked Sabak, he hasn't picked Riadini, he hasn't picked Diamel. What else we got?
Hasn't picked Waterford.
Hasn't even looked at Ascension. Oof.
There you go. So he's actually gone for Bandersnatch.
Yeah, baby, Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch, which I think is a great selection.
Very good.
So he's written here, Waterford is an undeserved favourite here. Yes, the second up form is impressive, but against much weaker grade. Black type racing is a whole different level, and I believe Bandersnatch is way overs. Goes well second up and is proven at this level, which I couldn't agree with more. So you get great gate 2. Maloney on for the Hawks Yard, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, you mentioned that before we started filming this morning, that you said that was a bit different because of what, they don't normally work together, or
I don't think they normally. Oh, I could be wrong, but I don't think they normally work together. But I'm all for it. He's a great rider. I like that it gets gate 2 and goes forward. Rose Hill is one of those tracks that can play on speed and on the rail. Sometimes the rail can be hot there, and you just cannot get past those that are on the that are drawn in. And I think it's going to get a lovely run. Obviously, if you're going to look at dangers, like you look at a horse like Sabak and some of the horses, the horses that's run around, and it'll probably get a nice run.
Well, that's the thing. Like you look at Sabak, and then you look at the trainer Annabelle Nation, and she very rarely trains a shocker.
She doesn't miss much.
No.
Yeah.
She's top 5 in just about all the races that she puts her horses in, so very good.
And that's coming out of that race won by Think About It. Hasn't Think About It been absolutely fucking flying?
Oh, tell me about it.
That's going to be a very nice horse moving forward. But he's gone for Bandersnatch here, and that is currently at $7.
Where's the Newmarket?
Newmarket.
Let's have a look at that, because interestingly enough, Ty, you put up a little post during the week, and we got a lovely little selection of tips, didn't we, about who's going to win what? Especially like the comment about Private Eye, he's watching you. I thought that was good.
That was an interesting one.
But the Newmarket, a great race today.
All right, well, we'll have a bit of a chat about these before we get into my couple other selections.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think?
I wish I win, honestly.
Hard to knock, eh?
Well, it's second up today, ran second on its first prep back, and you look at the form recent to that, just a lot of gold coins in there, mate. So I think second up today, Luke Nolan, Moody knows what he's doing, and he knows he preps them specifically for the big ones. Yep. So I think it's had a good prep, it's had a rest, it's had a nice run to get it back into, switch the brain on, let's get going, and then I think today's going to be good. And at $5,
I think you could just go each way on that all day.
Well, you just put on the nose, man.
And I thought it got treated a little bit unfairly at the weights here, considering it's a 4-year-old. Obviously, they're going off ratings, so I think maybe it got punished because it ran so well first up.
Unfortunately, that's life, mate. If you perform too well, they try to slow you down.
Yeah, so I wonder if Moody's sort of like kicking himself a little bit that he probably could have come into this first up and probably still won.
Oh, absolutely. But having said that, I mean, looking at all this stuff, there's a couple others that I would look at.
Oh, absolutely. Well. I'll have a chat because I wish I win. I think that is it's going to run big. Like it's going to be there. It'll need a lot of speed on that first up race. They were absolutely flying. So you had the likes of Nature Strip in that race and Cool and Gatter that were just absolutely pinning it. So it will need a lot of speed on, and whether or not there's the same amount of speed in a 1200 versus what they had in the 1000 is a question.
Yep.
I think the top weights, even though it's a handicap race, you can't ignore Private Eye and Marzu. They're like the top level, like top level. What Private Eye did first up last preparation at the 1200 metres up the straight was so impressive with 60 kilos. Gets in here with 58. Obviously, it's a lot heavier than some of these younger horses, but he's a freak. He's a freak, and so's Marzu. If you look at Marzu's most recent jump out up the straight, he was just like jogging. And Snapper was just being absolutely ridden. And Marzu was just pulling away from him, and he was just jogging. Like, Marzu is absolutely flying, and the Snowden Yard are just known to do it. They just rock up to Victoria, bang, take a big one, and leave.
It's kind of like how Gaines finished Jones in the last UFC, mate. He didn't even look like he broke a sweat.
Jones was just fucking all over him. And I'm gonna point out one that I think is really forgotten here. Marzu's one that they've actually started coming for, because that was like $21 the other day, and that's come into 13s. But I think people have forgotten about Star Patrol. And if you go watch the Oakley play, he was taking a lot of ground off horses late, and he finally gets back to Flemington up the straight, and at his distance that he prefers. If you go back through his form, he's run serious time at 1,200 metres up the straight, and he gets in with the 52 kilos. Look, you've got like the likes of Lofty Strike. They're rated to win these at 52.5 kilos. I'm just wondering if it's going to be horses that are just off the pace today in this race. I'm just wondering, because of maybe not as much speed as what the 1,000 metre run was. Maybe they're just going to be just off and then pounce late.
Question's also going to be like, will you be able to throw a blanket over the field? Like, are they going to have 10 in the finish? Like, you look at Buenos Natchez.
Yeah, I know. 50.5 kilos.
Loves a second up run. You look at its last prep. First out 6, second wins. Comes back into prep. It's had its first run last start. Fifth. It's going to be progressing forward. Currently sitting at $9. Even my fucking mate is on one Bella Nipotina. It can win on its good day. We'll fucking get him right on the line.
She's flying. There's many selections you can make, and you could be on many horses because of the odds.
When would you have thought you would have ever seen Snapper at 101?
Oh no, yeah, it's like there's just the odds through this race are extreme, but that's what you get in these sort of races.
You get what you get, and you don't get upset, don't you, Ty?
That's right.
Wow, cracking race. Anyway,
absolutely cracking race.
Let's kick on. We all tuned in for race number 7 at Flemington today. But what do you like, mate?
Race 3, Revolutionary Miss.
Ooh,
I think
Zara Snowden.
Yeah,
Boom.
Again, another Snowden horse. So rated much higher than these. So I think its rating is like 98 or something like that. And then you're getting the Shuffle Dancer. I think he might be rated in the 80s, but they all get on level weights.
Okay.
Revolutionary Miss comes out of a Group 1 in Sydney. It's actually come out, like, it's third up today. I think third up to the mile is a very good recipe for success. And she is flying. Only downside I would say is gate 1, as a horse that gets back, you can get trapped in a bit of traffic.
And push forward when you don't necessarily want to.
Yeah, so they've got the right jockey on to get it done. But I think from a rating perspective, getting in on level weights with a rating of 98 in this race back against, like, he's against the females with that Sydney form, I think that's really strong. And I don't think Shuffle Dancer deserves to be the favourite in this. I think Revolutionary Miss might even take over as the favourite the closer we get. Currently $3.90, which I thought was really good odds for a horse of this quality in this race at level weights. If I was going to name a danger out of the same race, I'd go with Rosita.
I was going to just say that. If you look at that form, loves a third up run.
And it's going to get a lovely run. Blake Shin on.
Isn't he just kicking goals?
He will place that horse perfectly in the run. You know it's going to get the best chance. So if Revolutionary Miss is stuck on the rail and just can't get out, then I think she's the one that can burst out and get it done.
Like that.
So Revolutionary Miss is definitely the more confident of those two, and Rosita is a bit of a danger. So that's race 3. So we'll go to race 9 for a bit of a
get out stakes, mate.
Bit of an each way play. I think this horse has been. You could say it's unlucky, but it's probably more to do with its racing style of get back, run on, and that's Meridius. Meridius again is another Zara horse. Mark Zara's on this one. $5.50 the win, $2.10 the place. It's an each way play. Comes off 1,200 metres, which is probably too short for it. But if you go back and
searching,
if you go back and look at its last run, it was running on very nicely, and that was on the Lakeside track, which is just fucking terrible for run on horses. It has just been all on pace as fuck. And that was the same as.
Please don't hold back, mate. Honestly,
Lakeside has just been doing my head in, but. I think I had like a couple of wins. I had like 4 seconds or something on Lakeside. It's just, but it was making ground, it says a lot for the horse and how he's going. I think this is a good race for him, to be honest, and I think 58 kilos is quite good to get in for this race. At the odds, $5.50 I thought was pretty generous for a horse coming out of a race. Who was it behind? Recommendation. I actually tipped it that day. Recommendation won.
Too.
And I think that was a reasonably fast race. So gate 3 doesn't have to be too far back either from gate 3.
No.
So if he sits like midfield, I'd be really, really happy with that. Hopefully midfield and off the fence would be nice and just peel out and go. If I'm going to name a danger, I think Lethal Thoughts with your mate on there. So you
can't support, mate.
Forget that one.
Can't push.
Lethal Thoughts. Look, it gets gate 10, which is not ideal. It's a horse that can go forward, but it'll need some good riding to get into a nice spot with some cover.
Yep.
I think last prep it didn't come up, but if you go back the last prep before that, last prep was actually running on really wet tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it likes the wet tracks, to be honest, and probably got a little bit unlucky in runs. But if you go back before that, it was competitive against some really nice horses. Gets him with 54 kilos, gets him very light. And I think this is a progressive horse. Its last jump out was quite good.
Okay.
So that's one at $8.50.
Plenty of detail there for the two picks that you like in those races, but a lovely, nice card on a good forward deck at Flemington, and it'll just be beautiful. Oh, you'd be like,
when are we going to get down to Flemington?
Oh, we need to, honestly. We need to get down and do a Mooney Valley Friday night and then a Flemington on a Saturday.
Yeah. And then wherever we go on the Sunday, some country track on the Sunday,
if
we can make it out that far.
We should go to the Yarra Valley or somewhere like that and just do a little bit of a country meet. Sensational. All right, we'll finish in the West like we always do. Going to go race number 2. And might have the name that I'm going for might be just how you're kind of feeling about Zara at the moment, mate. But I'm going to have a look at Man Crush. Man Crush.
That's tough for Zara though. Like he had a bad fall last week. He just got up and just kept going.
I'm not knocking.
Tough man.
I'm not knocking him, mate. I'm not knocking him. No, Man Crush back in form. It's been in prep for a little while now, but the last 2 runs have been very, very good and very promising that he can go on and keep doing this. So I'm happy with that. Parnham's on the back. You know, that's a good little choice out there. So I think early on in the race number 2 for the 9 races out there today, I think it'll be a good one.
Yep.
We're going to have a look at also race number 4. Yeah, this guy is screaming for a win. And I'm going to pivot against the favourite today, but I think Dad's Big Head.
Dad's Big Head.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely value here.
My kids would probably say that about my head, but you know. He has got a string of seconds.
He does.
Like, honestly, like he's been so thereabouts.
4 seconds.
Yeah.
Had a win for that.
All over different distances, all over different tracks.
Yeah.
So the track and the distance is going to suit him today. Does like Ascot, does like the distance, will like the company, and I honestly think today is going to be his day. So
how do you think it'll play? Do you think it'll play the pattern? Do you think it'll be on speed? Do you think it'll be fair?
I think it'll be fair. I think he'll be looking to come late, but needs to position nicely. Like he's coming out of barrier 3, so I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Just needs to not go too hard too early and just sort of sit there. I can never pronounce his name. Who's the favourite? Suwire? Anyway, that's an absolutely outstanding horse and loves a second up run too. So I think that's the certain danger in the race.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to push Dad's Big Head to give it a good run for its money.
Beautiful. $6.50.
Yeah.
Just quietly.
Just quietly each way tip there for your punters.
Yep.
Fingers crossed it comes in. And race number 6.
Race number 6.
Yeah, race number 6 EPC.
EPC. Where is that?
There he is, number 9. EPC.
Okay.
Another nice each way play. Another one that's very deep in its preparation, and I don't think it's going to be far away from going to the paddock. But having said that, we're a good gate. We're well in prep. We've been thereabouts over the last couple of starts. So look, the 2 runs before that was a bit of a forgive run and bounced back nicely to play second last start.
Yep.
So yeah, happy he's back at Ascot, and I think with the deck and the good 4 out there today, we should be pretty good.
Lovely.
Plenty of other races to come. There'll be, as we mentioned earlier, the 3 from Pinjarra will be there from races 7, 8, 9 today, which will be good. So I'll put some more value plays in there today. I think we should have a bit of value out there in the West.
I think so. As we get into the peak season, I think there's always value around.
Here they come. I'm loving looking at all these horses that are just starting to peak now. Starting to peak. Hopefully not like the Dolphins who didn't. Hopefully they didn't peak too early last week.
Well, yeah, good point.
Right. By the way, what a cracking game last night between the Sharks and the Eels.
I didn't get to see it,
Mate, it was just trading tries all night. So good. Such a good game.
That's good to see early in the season.
Yeah, it really was.
Okay.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about footy. We're here to talk about racing. Good luck on the punt today. Gamble responsibly as always. Make sure you have some fun. Ty, over to you for some final words.
Oh, God.
It's gonna be a weekly thing, this, mate. I'm just gonna keep giving it
No,
to
it's
you.
a cracking day, actually. No, I'm actually really excited to see how it all plays out. We get even more insights into horses. Now, if they don't win on their grand final and in their peak races, stay tuned. Don't jump off those horses either, because sometimes the trainers keep putting them out for another couple of runs, and you'll see them sort of drop back slightly in grade and win at big odds. And they come in at big odds because people sort of, oh no, they're not in form, they didn't win.
Yeah.
And they jump off them. But
Interesting.
Like, you can pick up some good value later in the season as well.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. If your horse doesn't win today in its grand final, don't be too quick to jump off. So that's what I would recommend.
Lovely words of wisdom from the man himself. All right, punters, members, people of all ages over 18. Hope you have a great Saturday. Catch you next week.
See you guys.